How's it going, guys? Welcome back to S3M2 Football and welcome to today's football preview video. We're back at it with some top tier UEFA Champions League action this week, so please join me as I cover the fixture that is kicking off tomorrow on Wednesday the 1st of October that sees Spanish giants Football Club Barcelona host French giants Paris Saint-Germain. We start off today's video with the home side being Barcelona. Now, the last 5 matches for the Blaugrana have ended in 5 wins. Barcelona are looking fluid, they're looking strong, and they're looking very, very efficient. And I think that was perfectly displayed in their 2-1 comeback win over Real Sociedad earlier this weekend. The first player I have to talk about for Barcelona has got to be Spanish right winger Lamine Yamal. In 4 appearances, the teenage superstar has 2 goals and 4 assists. Lamine Yamal operates as an inverted winger on that right wing for Barcelona, and he is quick, he is creative, and overall, Lamine Yamal is a nightmare for opposition defenders to deal with. In the heart of midfield for Barcelona, I want to talk about Spanish central midfielder Pedri. In 8 appearances, Pedri has just a single goal. And when I look at Pedri, I see the conductor in midfield for Barcelona. Pedri is blessed with great passing ability. He is a patient player, and I think that gives him the ability to just run the game for Barcelona. And finally, at the heart of the defense, I want to talk about Spanish centre-back Pau Cubarsí. In 5 appearances, Cubarsí has no goals or assists as yet, but when I look at him, he's the player that anchors Barcelona's entire formation from that centre-back position. He is intelligent, and he's a player who's very good at playing those short passes, so the team knows they can rely on him to build their attacks from the back. Tactically for Barcelona, coach Hansi Flick wants his team to attack with a lot of versatility, using both possession and counter-attacking. To that end, we have seen the Blaugrana lining up in a 4-2-3-1 formation. The main game at Barcelona is to just keep the ball and then let those midfield maestros dictate the tempo of the game. Out wide, pace can be found in wingers like Marcus Rashford and Lamine Yamal, who are then able to punish teams on the break whenever it's necessary as well. Okay, on to the opposition. Now, for Paris Saint-Germain, the last 5 matches have ended in 4 wins and 1 loss. PSG are still looking very good despite that 1-0 loss away at Olympique Marseille in the French league earlier this month. The first player that I have to talk about for PSG has got to be French left winger Bradley Barcola. In 7 appearances, Barcola has 3 goals and 2 assists, and he operates as an inverted winger for PSG on that left wing. Barcola is fast, he's got great ball control, and he's just a phenomenal dribbler, being that typical kind of player who likes to carry the ball from midfield to the front line. Speaking of the midfield, in the heart of midfield for PSG, I want to talk about Portuguese central midfielder Vitinha. In 8 appearances, Vitinha has 1 goal and 4 assists, but when I look at him, I see a playmaker for PSG. A player who has great vision, great passing ability, and that sort of know-how on how to just unlock a defense at will. And finally, at the back for PSG, I want to talk about Moroccan right back Achraf Hakimi. In 8 appearances, Hakimi has just 1 assist, but when I look at Hakimi, I see a typical attacking fullback. He's a player who is quick, he's very accurate with his long passes from those right wing positions, but Hakimi also has the energy to be able to track back and perform his defensive duties as well. Tactically for PSG, coach Luis Enrique will also want his team to just display a lot of versatility in the attack, using the counter and possession as well. To that end, I think we have seen PSG lining up most of the time this season in a 4-3-3 formation. For the Parisians, the aim of the game is also to keep the ball, but to play direct passes all the time. PSG are always looking to create chances and score goals, and with great passes, quick wingers, and energetic fullbacks, the Parisians are always a threat. Okay, now on to the head-to-head and our verdict. Now, the last 5 fixtures between Barcelona and PSG have ended in 2 wins for Barcelona, 2 wins for PSG, and then a single draw to separate the two teams, which means this one is very, very nicely balanced. In terms of goal output in those last 5 encounters, Barcelona have hit the back of the net 12 times, while PSG have responded with 12 goals of their own. So even in terms of goal output, it's nice and evenly split. However, with that amount of goals, it does mean that both of these teams have averaged 2 goals per game each. So I think fireworks are definitely guaranteed in this fixture. Both teams did pick up maximum points on matchday 1, being separated only by goal difference at this point. But I think it is the injuries right now that is actually going to play a major role in this fixture. Barcelona have been hit with a whole lot of goalkeeping injuries, and now they have to rely on Wojciech Szczesny once again. They also will be missing midfielders Gavi and Fermin due to other issues as well. The Parisians are definitely not in the clear. They have issues of their own. Firstly, they will be without Ballon d'Or holder Ousmane Dembele, and then also without captain Marquinhos. So I think both of these teams are missing quite a bit defensively, and they're missing quite a bit offensively as well. Both teams will not be happy at all with just a draw, so they'll both want to go out there and win this fixture. But I think those absences are a big miss. Offensively, I think also PSG might struggle a little, but without Desiree Doué, and Barcelona might struggle a little without Rafinha as well. Both of these players have been very important to both of these teams last season, and just as important to both of these teams this season. I think there's more than enough aggression, more than enough tenacity on the pitch to want to pick up all 3 points. A draw is just not good enough for either one of these teams and either one of these coaches. I think both teams also have a lot to prove. It is quite sad that Dembele won't be able to play in this fixture. I think he also will be looking to prove as soon as possible that he deserves that Ballon d'Or. And I think doing it against Barcelona, his former club, would be a really, really good way to do it. This will be a very end-to-end fixture. I think there's insane levels of talent for both teams. Two of, if not the 2 best teams in world football, I would say last season and this season as well. But Barcelona also had 2 players in Rafinha and Lamine Yamal who were also vying for that Ballon d'Or. Obviously, Rafinha kind of fell out of the running altogether, but I think Lamine Yamal will have a point to prove of his own here. However, I think that with the mentality of Barcelona, putting the team first, putting all of that emphasis on Lamine Yamal, and if he does that himself, I think that's not smart at all. I think at the end of the day, we have to remember this is a team sport. As long as the team wins, everybody wins. So focusing just on 1 or 2 players and the fact that they're vying for an individual trophy like the Ballon d'Or, I think is not wise, both for these teams and for the fans. I think also we have seen that there's no actual home ground advantage in this fixture, whether it's in Paris or in Barcelona. Both of these teams know how to go out there and put on a show. Both of these teams know how to go out there and score multiple goals against the opposition. And I think that's exactly what we're going to see in this fixture. Multiple goals for both teams. But I do think that right now, based on how they're playing, based on the ability of these players on the day, and also based on form coming into this one, Barcelona are still unbeaten this season, and I don't expect that to change in this one. My score prediction for this one is going to be Barcelona 2, PSG 1.